Good afternoon, everyone. This is Maria.
This is Tim.
Today is Thursday, March the 15th, 2018. Welcome to our daily recap.
Another fun day. Dow was up a little bit. Some of the other stuff was barely down, little, not even an elbow scrape, not even a little pinky toe scrape. But if you want to go ahead, please give us those closing numbers before we get started.
Absolutely. So we did try to move higher initially, and then the NASDAQ and S&P turned down, but still closed the session little changed. The Dow ended the day up 115.54 points, or 0.47%. Closed at 24,873.66 points. The NASDAQ was down 15.069 points, or 0.2%, closing at 7,481.74 points. And the S&P was down 2.15 points, down 0.08%, closing at 2,747.33 points. And yeah, guys, thank you for bearing with us yesterday through that long webinar. We had a bunch of stuff to cover. We have a whole bunch more to cover today. We will try to get through it as fast as we can. We appreciate you watching. Let's go ahead and get started.
DXR, Maria, we talked about this one yesterday. Had some news yesterday. Pull up a weekly on DXR. That was an insane run today. See. Let me find it as well. We alerted at $8.85, hit a high of 21.66, closed at 13.59, but at one point it was up 150% after the alert, which is just insane. But look at that continuation it had today.
It was beautiful. Yesterday we talked about it. It was up a little bit. We said keep an eye on it. Today, just, right out the gate, it just took off. I remember seeing it, I want to say it was under 19 in the 18s. And I said in the room, I'm like, have you guys seen it? Have you seen it? I was trying to get everyone's attention. It ran another couple points and then came back. It halted a couple times through this run up here. Then sold off. But I'm not really that disappointed with this sell-off. If you're looking at from $8 up to 21, closed at 13.9. Yeah, it did sell off, but I think it's one that we should keep an eye on.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it held in there pretty well, actually. Yesterday, it just consolidated. Another one today, blast from the past, KBSF. I think there was some news for that, too. That was the first one we had for 2017, the first supernova we had of 2017. Tia had got us in last year. And so anytime that alerts, obviously have to watch and, sometimes dabble in that one. But KBSF, check that out.
There's a chart on it. They announced a new long-term contract. So here's the news on it. Let's see here. KBS Fashion Limited announced its China-based subsidiary, entered into a long-term strategic corporate agreement with another company, which is a major producer of children's apparel in China.
Nice.
Then after hours, there was
on KBSF.
Or not after hours. It was at 11:44. That's when it actually came out, the news.
Another one we had talked about recently as well, RXI. That had a monster day as well. Let's pull a weekly up on RXI. We alerted at 476. It hit 676, closed at 510. And I've said this before, not all alerts do this, right? We'd all be rich. But, solid day. So pull that one up, Maria, RXI.
And there's a chart on it. What's interesting about this one, and you can kind of see it. Let me see if I can make this volume area. Is it going to let me make it bigger? Here we go. So you can kind of see those volume bars. And the volume on this was really low. If I remember correctly, the 10-day volume on this is somewhere around like 400,000 shares or 350,000 shares. And today it traded 3.97 million shares. Yesterday, interestingly enough, that volume started to pick up. I noticed it on the scanner. I believe I tagged it in one of the scanner posts I did. So it actually started to pick up yesterday, and today it definitely took off.
Yeah, that one, glad we'd kept an eye, and I still want to keep an eye on that one for sure. ZSAN, we had mentioned yesterday that one probably wasn't done. ZSAN, it came out of the gate hard, did sell off a little bit, but still holding in a decent range. Yeah, came out of the gate swinging. I still want to keep this on watch just because I just don't think it's the last we've heard of it. That one's interesting. I don't see anything new with it. Here's one that's a higher price stock, AKCA. That one was a pretty alert as well. Bigger stock. We alerted at $24.19. It hit $29. Maria, I believe that had an upgrade as well.
Yes, it did. They were upgraded to outperform from market perform at Wells Fargo. There was also additional news. Ions and AKCA Therapeutics partnered to market one of their drugs. So there was
Looks like
also
it.
partnership news.
Yes, keep an eye on that one as well. FLKS, that was one that, the volume was kind of light, but just kept getting bigger and bigger. FLKS, it's kind of interesting as well.
There's the daily on it.
Yeah, we didn't see news on that one either.
But the volume, just to give you an idea, the volume on this one, average 10-day volume is 98,000 shares. Today it traded 660,000 shares. So in relation to its average volume, it actually did trade a bunch of a bunch of shares. It was a lot of excess volume.
Yeah, that's a good 6-to-1 right there. GERN, new 52-week high today, GERN. That was interesting as well. And I didn't see any news with GERN, so for it to make that run, consolidated, it's moving again after hours. I did not see anything out there on GERN.
I didn't either. I looked for news earlier today on it. I did not come up with anything. Again, traded, almost 5 times volume. Average 10-day volumes like 2.8 million shares, traded almost 10.5 million shares today. So a lot of volume. I don't see any news with it. Yeah, I really don't.
Yeah, let's keep an eye on that, especially the 52 kind, just out of curiosity more than
You
anything.
know what? Let me check one thing. I remember actually on this one, they're hosting a conference call for analysts and investors. They have an analyst day coming up on Monday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern, to discuss the company's fourth quarter and annual results, as well as recent events. Thank you, E-Trade.
Okay.
So I just pulled. I happened to click on that. I clicked on the article,
Nice.
and it told me that. So yeah, it's probably running ahead of that.
Yesterday's hero, RKDA, came out of the gate swinging again. RKDA sold off some, but still, considering where it started the other day, definitely keep an eye on it. It's down $7 on the day, 14.8%. It looks like, but still, keep an eye on that one. That yesterday, their week program, kind of blew my mind.
And it was still, even though it sold off today, it gave back a lot of the gains. If you look at it over the course of a week, still looks okay. Not that I necessarily want to buy it here, but I do want to keep an eye on it. I want to see what it does.
Well, down there at the lows is about where the lows were yesterday, or relatively close. So still, that looks like there's some support there.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, yeah, it's yeah, looks good to me.
Another one we had mentioned yesterday, we've been talking about it for about 2 weeks, ECYT. We had said yesterday we didn't think this one was done. It closed down about 4 cents, I think, maybe 5 cents. But it went up there and almost went through the 52-week high, which is not an old high. But still, it got close. So look, that high was on Tuesday. So this one still, want to keep an eye on ECYT. They did have news today. Won't try to read all those drug names and everything, but ECYT, I guess
They're
we're going to be
presenting
at the
at
American.
yeah, they're presenting at the
What
American
conference is that?
Association. It's the American Association for Cancer Research, which is in April. There's an annual meeting, April 14th through the 18th.
Definitely want to keep an eye on that one. I don't think that one's done. Still like where it's at. ECYT. PTI yesterday we had talked about as well. Actually, we've been talking about it, seems like all week. Closed up, not as much as I thought it was going to do, but still overall, if you pull up that weekly, Maria.
Here's the weekly on it.
Yeah. Look, pops, consolidates. So let's see if this one, I don't think this one's done either. I just don't really think it is.
I'm curious to see
Now
what it
on
does.
that
I want
one,
to keep an eye on it as well.
yeah, the volume's good on it. It looks like some bigger stuff's coming for this one. I'm just going to definitely keep an eye on that one. So PTI definitely on watch. ARQL, it's one that somebody had sent us a DM about earlier and wanted us to look at. And I have not had time to actually pull it up and see what was going on with it.
There's a chart. We alerted it, you know, and it spiked a little bit. This one, the spike, I believe, was, or the news, I should say, was that they are also presenting at that AACR annual meeting.
Yeah, this whole thing came late day, which is what was interesting, and held decent for a late day move too. So definitely keep an eye on ARQL. You know who texted me, and I appreciate that. Appreciate the heads up for looking at this one. Maria INO, wanted to look at that one as well. Somebody in chat had mentioned that one and told us to look at it tonight, and I told them we would. Oh, wow.
Nice day. Really nice
Nice
day.
day. What's the news there?
RBC up their price target from 11 to 14.
Okay. Keep an eye on that one. Looks like an outperform rating. Another one we were going to look at today, CBEO. Wow.
Really nice day on it. Look at this flat top. Pretty much flat
Yeah.
top. Bam.
Yeah. Flat top pop. I didn't see any news with that one either.
Yeah.
What's the weekly look like on it?
Let's look at it.
Go ahead and pull that out.
There's the week on it. Let's look at a year. Not bad. Not bad. But going back to the weekly, here's the weekly on it. Nice day today. Again, no news, but extra volume on it to help push that price. Today it was 1.83 million shares. 10-day average is around 839,000.
Okay, so about almost 2.5 times average. All right, let's keep an eye on that one too going forward. CVO. Bunch of big movers today. Like we had some big movers out there. NTES moved pretty nice. I wanted to play options in that. I know there was some unusual activity. The spreads on some of those were horrible, so I did not catch any of this NTES one. But I did want to look at it.
So NTES actually, they had, their call volume was above normal. It says it right here. Call volume above normal and directionally bullish. 4,490 calls trading, 9 times expected. Implied volatility increasing almost 3 points to 30.41%. Total volume in the March 322.50s and 325 calls was near 1,500 contracts. Put call ratio 0.36. Earnings not until May 9th. So let me get the longer term pulled up. I like this stock because it moves. When it moves, it moves. There's usually, and I shouldn't say when it moves, it moves. Most of the time, when it wants to make a move, it actually does make a move. It'll move what with, it'll move multiple points. So down here, low 306, today's high 329. I want to keep an eye on it for potential continuation. Where's the 1 year on it? Plenty of space to, to the 52. So
Oh
yes, it
wow.
will run into some resistance. Absolutely run into resistance pretty soon. I want to see what it does there. If we can get through this resistance area, probably through here, um, we'll see what happens. I may try to swing a couple of just a very small position. I may try to swing. We'll see.
I like that one. McDonald's. When was it? Last Friday. Or the Friday before, McDonald's had dropped down in the 146.78 range, and we had a big conversation about it in the room, and we were wondering could we get just a little bit lower. Um, and this one I like anyway because back when we did the newsletter, we called this one burgers and fries and all-time highs, and I just never forgot that. It just kind of stuck.
I
Um, a lot of calls
remember
on
that.
the yeah burgers, fries, all-time highs. Interesting on McDonald's. Definitely still watching that one. I did not pick any up. My fault on McDonald's, but definitely
So
something to
filled that
keep an eye
gap.
on.
Definitely filled that gap.
Yep.
Continued possible resistance coming up. Mm, no, potentially 162. I mean, it's still got a buck and change to move before it runs into some resistance. It looks like, but plenty of room to run to that 52 as well. So definitely one that I want to keep an eye on.
I agree with you. Amazon, interesting day. Let's pull up that Amazon chart. And Amazon probably needed this day.
Here is the day on Amazon. Let me get the week pulled up because I agree with you. We kind of talked about Fang yesterday and how they had stayed relatively strong. We saw Fang, they were I don't want to say they were down. They weren't necessarily down. To me it wasn't concerning, but they, a lot of people, I shouldn't say they, a lot of people were like, what's going on with Fang? It looks like they're weakening. I don't, Me personally, I don't see it as weakening. I see it as holding support, consolidating. Obviously
Yeah,
we
I
have
mean,
some other events going on in the market. Um, Nasdaq is
but
still,
look
I
back
mean, I
there.
think it's good. Yeah,
Yeah, look back there. I mean, to me that it needed that day. So let's see
absolutely.
what happens off Amazon. Because when that moves, we can get some good scalp sign contracts. Netflix was interesting. Um, let's pull up Netflix. Then I want to pull up the options on it. What was the one? Knock out those puts real quick if you don't care.
So there's the call activity. I actually put Netflix on the list because I mentioned it yesterday and I said I want to keep an eye on it. Um, it's almost, and you have to see it on the weekly and actually probably a little bit further out. Let's look at the 10-day. I feel like I missed an opportunity. And I am trying to convince myself not to chase this. And I won't chase it initially, at least not for a swing. I may scalp it if I see that there's the momentum there, but
But
for a longer term, I want it back down here around that
yeah, let's go back to the contracts for a
3.
second.
Yeah, here you go.
So you see that when it come in, the 327.50s that came in at 102 above the ask,
Yeah, for
small sweeps,
tomorrow.
$10,000. They were 34 cents. Those things are at 55 right now. But look at the time that they bought those.
Yep, 102.
Yeah, but look at the time on the
So right
chart. Yes,
here.
but yeah. So what's interesting is I just want to know if they're right because they again it was 10 grand above the ask, so they just threw it out there. But
Did they get low a day on
strong,
that?
yeah, they got
They sure
basically
did.
low a day. So I'm like, I remember texting Vishal and saying, man, we just got above the ask on Netflix for 34 cents, and we're like, oh man, that because at that point it was like $10, $12 out of the money, and we're like, no. Um, we may have missed an opportunity there, but I definitely want to keep an eye on it just because of that $10,000. I know there's larger sweeps that came through and all that. That's fine, but that one was just intriguing to me.
I agree. I definitely want to keep an eye on it.
Um, Google was up, which I think was the only one in FANG that was up today. Wasn't up a ton, but it was interesting that it's kind of the only one that made it.
So Google did close green. Um, Look at that range from the low to the high. Almost 30 points. 1135 at the low, 1162 at the high. It came back down a little bit, as did everything in the market, bounced back up to close at around, what was this? Around 1150, 1151-ish in that area. Um, so Google, I like a lot. I like Google a lot. And I feel like out of, well, between Google and Amazon, I feel like Google has kind of been, I don't want to say left behind, because it's been moving and it's doing phenomenal. But I feel like it's not shown us its true potential just yet. So I definitely
Well, if
have my eyes
if
on
you look at
Google.
right, Amazon all-time highs are right under them. Netflix right under them. So Google's definitely got some room to catch up there. So I understand exactly what you're saying. So keep an eye on that one because it was interesting that it just kind of outperformed there. FireEye, there was a rumor mill going on around FireEye. I forget which two companies were taking a look at it, but FireEye, we had some good flow. Interesting day on it. Yeah, that above the ask came in real early this morning, 9:31. 420s for $20. So they're up in those contracts pretty nicely. That one was the
So
first, when we first started watching it.
it looks like, and here was the headline. CEO, okay, so it's likely being watched by rival security firms like SYMC and Cisco. So that was the little rumor, and it popped. It just kept on going, and the calls
Kept on
started
going.
coming in.
After hours, yeah, look at it after
Oh my
hours. I mean,
God!
it's
Holy
still
shit!
back going. I
Let
know
me
we had a
see.
couple people that were actually playing that today. They went right in with that sweep. I did not. They seen that sweep. I mean, it wasn't a big sweep, but it was, hey, 15K above the ask. They weren't sweating the fill. So
Yeah,
interesting.
no, they weren't. No, they weren't.
Tesla all over the map today. I wanted to pull up that chart as well. Several good trades in that one. I did not trade that one, but there was several opportunities in that one throughout the day.
Definitely. It would have been a nice short if you'd been willing to sit through this up down. That would have been a really nice short. I always miss the big shorts on Tesla. I'm good at catching the long side of it. But for some, it's just Tesla. Like anything else, I can play it up or down without a problem. For some reason with Tesla, I always seem to miss the really big shorts.
I do too, and it's kind of because if you see that bottom and how it reversed off of it, when you're short Tesla, and even that this morning, a couple times, you had to question whether, and even though it was lower lows, lower highs for most of the day, you had to question those pops whether that's going to keep going. I mean, Tesla, yeah,
It's
interesting.
Tesla, right? Tesla could be down
It's Tesla,
$10, and next thing you know, it's up 25.
right?
Yeah. So, but yeah. So Tesla, there's a lot of news going on with their internal structure, people leaving and stuff like that, bad parts or defective parts, all kinds of fun stuff. Tesla is not something that I will hold longer term. The longest I will hold Tesla is overnight, and I will usually sell it right into the open. But it's one that I like to play just for the range.
Yeah, I agree. Microsoft, interesting day. Um, yeah, let's pull up Microsoft.
Look at that reversal on Microsoft. Oops, there we go. And I'm going to pull it up over here so it's a little bit clearer to see.
No, we had a couple
I mean,
people that actually got in on that one. I did not,
yeah,
even though it was on the
that was
buy
beautiful.
list. Yeah, that was gorgeous. Still getting some flow into it. Definitely a nice reversal. Up a little bit after hours too, which is good. So definitely want to keep an eye on that one. I know Pete's in it. I think Vishal's in that one. We've got a couple people in Microsoft. Speaking of Vishal, IBM, what a call he had on that one the other day. I know he got 4 out of his 6 contracts today.
Yeah, that was beautiful. It was having a hard time getting through that 160 or 159, 160 area, I believe. And it finally busted through, ran to 160, 125. Closed around that in the 159 or 159.60-ish area, 159.61, I believe. Which still isn't bad. I still like it.
I feel like it too. And that's why Vishal said he was selling 4 of his 6. He said he'll buy the other 4 back.
Right.
NVDA, in NVDA yesterday with the market, kind of funny, held in there very well, which NVIDIA doesn't always do. Today held in there pretty good. I know you and Vishal have got some calls you're swinging for that conference.
Yeah. And I did scalp it this morning. I scalped this long here. I actually got out right here. As soon as it started, it hit high a day, came down, found support, double topped. I sold it right after that double top, and I'm still holding those April. What are they? 4.6 255s, I believe. I'm
255.
checking.
Yep.
Yep, 255s, 4.6.
MON had an interesting day. That tanked, and luckily Pistol Pete, we call him 100% Pete and Pistol Pete. He got that out there quick enough that we had some people hit, 80% short on that one on their puts. I wasn't in the room when that happened, but he called that out, and a few people just jumped it. And like I say, there were some 80% confirms I seen in there, which was interesting. What was the news on that one?
Let me pull it up. There was something with Bayer, an antitrust, something or the other. Hold on. Bayer faces hurdle for U.S. approval of the Monsanto deal, according to Bloomberg. Bayer's plan to gain antitrust clearance for its acquisition of Monsanto has yet to satisfy U.S. officials who are concerned that the merger could harm competition. So that was according to Bloomberg.
Okay. How did that close? Let's pull that back up to the side. Just want to look at the close. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much. I mean, it closed pretty much at the lows. Almost, not quite, actually. But yeah, down around that 117.20. 117.20 was the close.
Another one I want to look at, Boeing. We are still swinging the 350s for April. We caught some nice scalps on that today, though, on that reversal, though.
Yesterday, Tech Money was the one that caught that bottom. Today, Tim, it was you. I mean, that was literally right off that low a day. That was a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous call, Tim. And I scalped it with you. I thought I was chasing it. I ended up not chasing it. I made out pretty well on that trade.
Yeah, that one, I hit about 150% on that one, which doesn't happen often enough, but that one was interesting. So, yeah, we are still swinging the 350s. So we get asked that a few times a day. When we get out, we'll put it in the room. DSW, we had bought on Tuesday. We do still own DSW. We're down in them a little bit yesterday. Then we popped a green in them a little bit today. And I still like where it's going. So we are still holding DSW.
Mm-hmm. And we're actually not down that much today on
Yeah,
those. They came
um,
back quite a bit.
quite a bit. So happy about that. INTC, we are still holding some 50s for April 20th. Up just a little in those. Yes, we do still own them. Um, kind of a little sad on Intel here. I mean, had some monster flow recently. Is that after
But
hours?
oh yeah, this is after hours. Let me get that pulled up. Here's where we are after
That's
hours.
good.
Yeah, it moved back up a little bit after hours. I'm actually like I know it's down, but I'm not too concerned about it. We do have more time on it. Not that, I don't like being down on a position, but I feel like this level will hold at the well right down here, sorry. Um, it bounced off of that, which was support back here, kind of. So I think that Intel, especially ahead of earnings, I think it will start to pick back up.
I think it will too. I agree with you, Maria. We bought AMAT today, 61s for next week. The rumor mill was out there about that one today getting bought out, and I don't remember who's supposed to be buying them or anything else, but we did get 61s for next week on AMAT.
Let me get that news real quick.
Which is up a little bit after hours as well.
Yeah, I like that it's up a little bit after hours. Um, because that we always joke in the room. We always talk about that Ivy crush, right? Geez, talk about Ivy crush, but it wasn't too horrible actually. I don't want to say that it was really. I mean, yeah, we got hit by that by a little bit of Ivy crush in those contracts. But we have a little bit of time on them. I think we bought next week's, right? 61s, and we're at 60, 69 after hours. I don't know um anything aside from what is written right here. AMAT moves up on renewed takeover chatter. I had read elsewhere that there was an activist investor who was going to take a stake, so I will do a little bit of digging tonight to see if I can find out some more.
One of my favorite plays of the day. Somebody just texted me and asked us, we're going to talk about AMRS today. Of course, we're going to talk about AMRS today, but that happened after hours, so things have got to go in order. But yes, we're going to talk about Amy. Baba. Last night we had told everybody we were swinging Baba, the flow and everything, and AABA, Baba, everything just was lining up like something's about to make a move here. So we decided to swing that 197.50s for April 6th. We did get out of those today. Gorgeous trade. And then, later in the day, we went ahead and picked up 200s for the same strike, or same expiration. I'm sorry. So we are swinging by the 200s now for April 6th to 197.50s. God, this worked out perfect.
I want them back. They were gorgeous. They were so gorgeous.
I
They
want
were
them back too.
beautiful. I want them back. But that's okay because we ended the day green on the April 200s. We picked them up right off of support. Well, I think we probably picked them up around
Yeah,
here,
on that little
maybe.
flat top. No, it was
Or
on
was it over
over in that
here?
little flat top area. No, keep going
Over
to the
here.
right. Yeah, right in here.
Anyway, it dipped after we bought. And they were red
Oh,
for
that's
just a
right.
little bit,
Actually,
right?
you're right. You're right. Where you said because they dipped on us, I'm like, wow, we bought those and the stock drops $1. You're right. We bought them right there, right before it did that. You're 100% right
And I
on that.
told you,
So
and I even told you earlier in the day, I said 197.50. 197.50 was the level I was keeping an eye on. That was the lowest I was willing to let it drop. And it held above there, turned around, um, you know, did its normal Baba thing, up and then down, up and down. That's how Baba trades most of the time. We're still holding these. I like them. They're green.
yeah. Autodesk, you're still swinging that one.
So Autodesk, I don't know what this candle is after hours. Interesting, but it looks like some lighter volume, maybe a fat finger trade or something. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Let me get the week pulled up. I'm still in these contracts. It popped up this morning. I was green on the contract. It came down, held support, actually held support higher than yesterday. So, high or low, came back up. I will keep an eye on it. I'm still in those, still have time on them. So I will continue to hold.
Another one, J&J. We talked about that yesterday. We thought everything was good in them, and then boom, the bottom fell out at some point yesterday, and we were red on them. So those came back a lot for us today. But we have April 20th, I believe, which
Yeah.
catches the R and everything. So we'll still get that run. So I'm not worried about J&J. Still have that one. Merck, we're green in those Mercs. We followed the flow on, I believe it was Tuesday, we followed the flow on Merck, and still green on those. Or I shouldn't say still green. We are green. We were red for a minute on those. Apple, and I'm just kind of cruising through some things real quick because I know that I don't want this to get too long. Apple, you are still in the 180s for April.
So actually, I had an opportunity to get out green today, but it was only one contract. And I probably should have taken my out there. That's okay though. That low at 178, I'm fine with. So I'm going to continue to hold these.
JPM, you picked up today as well. What contract on that JPM do you have?
Let me get the flow pulled up because I followed that flow. I believe they're 115s. I picked up the April 115 calls. Those are green. And where is this thing? So aggressive buying in JPM calls. This is just a follow the flow play. I like JPM. Those contracts tend to move. I know that the whole Dodd-Frank thing is, I think, more applicable to regional banks at this point, but I do feel that there's some potential between interest rate stuff, Dodd-Frank, and everything else. There's some potential for banks in general to get at least a little bit of a bump. So I did pick up the April 115s. Those are green. I'm not 100% sure how long I plan on holding those. I will. I want to see what it does tomorrow. And I like to take my green as fast as possible, so I may end up selling those a lot sooner than April 20th. So we will keep you updated on that.
NRG, we followed some flow on NRG today. So we do have those added to the portfolio.
We actually caught this. I think it was the first, actually, these all came in right like back to back. These 12:52 or 1:52 Eastern. That's when we actually picked them up. We ended up getting 125. We paid 125 for those, and they ended green.
They ended green, and it looks like after hours, it was trying to do something for a minute there as well.
Yeah.
Another one we picked up today, one of our favorites, ABBV. We got almost low of day, and we picked up 120s for May on ABBV. So I'm not sure how it closed.
It closed at 115.20.
Okay, well that's about where we picked them up actually. So
yeah.
Actually, we caught that. It was that low of day before the end, right? Not sure what you're going to the 1 month. Right in there where your cursor is. We got it right off here, so we got some time on those 120s for May. So we are in those ABBV. And another one of our favorites we did not get a position on today. We talked about it, LRCX. Nice upgrade, Maria. I forget what you told me it got upgraded to. 300?
I believe so. Let me get it pulled up. FBN initiated them at an outperform and $300 price target.
Nice. So, I love LRCX. If we get a decent some dips on that, I'm going to have to take that for some further out ones. I'm going to cruise through a couple of these. PayPal. Let me pull up PayPal. PayPal, I wanted to get an entry on, and I did not. Kind of missed that one. It's not down much on the day. PayPal Square ended up positive. I was looking at Square, and I wanted to get an entry there, but it didn't quite give me what I was looking for. I was hoping to get down in the 52.50 range. Good job, Bulls. That didn't happen. Did close positive. Was down a few cents on the day, but I mean that one's still holding in well. Another one that I had, Twitter. I was hoping to get just a little bit more down, so I kind of missed Twitter. I'm gonna let you pull
Let's
that
look at
one
the
up.
flow on Twitter today, because I know yesterday we saw a bunch of flow. Today we didn't see well, I mean, we still saw flow today, but I feel like we saw a lot more yesterday. Let me see. Yesterday was the 14th. So yesterday's flow, oops, come on, there we go. A lot more flow yesterday. That's all of yesterday. Today, not nearly as much flow, but still one to keep an eye on, I think.
I like
The
Twitter.
right pullback, yeah.
Do like Twitter. Another one that Cat, I got the notification late on that one today. That one, we've been playing that one a lot lately, and I did miss Cat entry, which is my fault. Jeez.
And when I saw it, it had already hit high a day.
Yeah. Before I even knew it, that had already happened. After hour scanner. Well, let's talk about MU real quick. MU, we get asked about this one a lot. This one acts funny a few days before ER, and the ER is 23rd. So I haven't anyway, at least taken in new positions on MU. Looking good after hours there, though, well off the lows. But MU is one that, yeah, and AMD is still in business as well, Maria. So you remember the Tuesday stuff on AMD is still in business and going positive here and there every day too.
Look
So
at that.
still in business.
So did you see all of these puts? Like I don't have this filtered. I have, calls and puts in there. But just back to back to back. I don't know
Yeah,
if these were previously written, although I can't imagine them closing that position out if it's moving up. Just a shit ton of puts came in. I'm
we've
not
had the
really
weirdest
sure what's going
activity.
on there.
Yeah, for a week, maybe a little longer. This has been going on, just put after put after put after put. I don't know what's going on with all that action either. I mean, I keep getting asked 20 times a day. My answer is the same. Fuck, I don't know. If somebody's buying, closing, writing, selling, don't ask me. That's just a lot of unusual flow. After hour scanner, Maria, let's go ahead and pop that up there. See what we have going.
There's the after hour scanner.
There's Amy. So we do get to talk about Amy.
Yay.
Congrats, Longs. Maria, go ahead and read that press release.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
I typed in
pull that
Amy.
up while I'm talking about this. Yeah, I do that a lot too. I'll type in Amy. 590 was a previous resistance on Amy, but now she may never see 590 again. Up
This was a
23.7%.
beautiful quarter. Really nice quarter, guys. Congratulations, Longs. You guys deserve it. They reported another strong quarter with solid operating performance. And it was a beat. Let me just read the quick version of it. They reported Q4 EPS of 61 cents, may not compare to consensus of 7 cents. Q4 revenue 80.6 million on a consensus of 68.14 million. Absolutely gorgeous. I love it. Congratulations again. Um, Tim, we used to play AB when it was like, oh my gosh, it was so low. What? How much was it?
50, 60 cents. Yeah, 60, 70 cents before it got, everybody was afraid that it was going to get delisted.
Yeah,
And we had played it all the way up through that 10-day hold of over $1 so it could keep its listing. And we had got out around $1.10.
yep.
And it started trickling back down, and we never did get back in. There was a reverse, some funding. So now, I mean, it looks like Amy's went to the clinic. She's clean. Definitely going to be taking a better look at Amy.
Absolutely.
Kodak, ER after the bell, 234,000 shares, up 11% to 545. You know, keep an eye on that one.
That was also ER. I don't know if you might have just said that. I apologize. I've not had a chance to read through it. The ER. I'm gonna assume that they beat. Probably guided okay. I will dig into that tonight as well.
Yeah. Qualcomm's up after hours 5.8% on decent volume, 1.66 million shares, of almost 6%. Keep an eye on that one. Another one we're watching, AUPH. They had ER tonight. Light volume up 5.6%, 56,000 shares, not much there. CBay up about 5% on 155,000 shares. BPMX, not interested. OPTT, decent volume, 278,000 shares, 4.3%. ATOS, JAGX, Adobe. Maria, I'm going to let you talk about Adobe real quick because I know that's one of your favorites.
So Adobe beat ER. Let me get the info pulled up. It was a really strong quarter. I briefly read through some of it. You'll see that it closed around 219 and currently around 227 or so. It looks like they reported Q1 EPS $1.55 on a consensus of $1.44. Rev beat. They reported 2.08 billion on a consensus of 2.05. The guide looked okay to me. It looks good. EPS they guided at for Q2 $1.53 on a consensus of $1.44. They guided Rev 2.15 billion on a consensus of 2.05. So Adobe is a great company. We talked about it last night. I love this company. I'm excited to see what it does tomorrow. Hopefully, well, I shouldn't say hopefully, but usually it likes to move. And if it does move, we will scalp it tomorrow.
Another one had ER after the bell, Ulta. That looks like it was mixed guidance, mixed quarter, mixed guidance. That one I want to keep an eye on as well. Overstock, down 13% after hours. They had ER as well. Yeah, look at that. That's not pretty. So let's keep an eye on Overstock tomorrow. Really, Maria, that's, well, Wayfair's down on 165,000 shares, 3.7%, not the end of the world there. Some of those flyers from yesterday, YTEN, down a little bit today. Seed was another one that was down today off its highs yesterday, up a little bit after hours, but XXII, I know that one can move. I know we got some fans on that one after hours.
I actually have July calls on XXII.
Nice. I
I
didn't even
bought
know they had
those a
options.
while ago. Yeah, they do. I have those are July the what strike? I have July $3 calls.
You'll probably be okay on those. I did not know they had options. See, I learned something every day. This is why we do this, right? I'm glad to know about that, actually. So, Maria, I don't have a whole lot more on my radar. I know we threw a lot of symbols and information at people. Sorry about kind of speeding up through this at the end. But yeah, a lot of movers. Tomorrow's going to be a very interesting day in the market for sure. Looked like the Qs were up too after hours, Maria. If you want to pull that up
Yes, I
real
saw them. They were,
quick.
yeah, moving up nicely after hours. Really nice move. 172.08.
Oh, it cracked the 172. That's been support resistance for a couple of days here. It's just going back and forth. That's good. That's a good day. That's the day we need to get out of some of our positions. Hopefully, Baba and everything just keeps going. Good day, everybody. Good day trading. Good flow. Everybody, subscribe to our channel. Give us any feedback. Anything you like, don't like, let us know. We'll try to work on it.
All right, guys, thanks again for joining us. Like Tim said, please subscribe, like, and share our videos and our channels. Our channel. If you have questions, please let us know. Follow us on StockTwits or Twitter, or hit us up there, and we will do our best to answer you. I hope everyone has a great night. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.